Parents of bullies, when did you realize your child was a bully and how did you react? In preschool my daughter began to show signs of being a mean girl. She would talk about refusing to play with someone because she didn't like their clothes and convince her friends not to play with other kids. I watched the edited for TV version of Mean Girls with her and we stopped and talked about how the kids treated each other and how they might be feeling. She started being nicer all around. What really spoke to her was being the victim of a mean girl situation in first grade. Now in middle school she is quick to identify mean girls and bullies. Doesn't let herself become their victims and befriends kids who are victims and helps them connect with other nice kids. The biggest bully that went after me at school, with all the names, pushing, pranks etc. His mother worked for the school, so I told her, "Your son is a real ass." Apostrophe. Her reply, "Yeah I know," with a disappointed face. A year after I graduated high school, the meanest, most popular girl in school mother called my mom and said, "I'm sorry if my daughter ever upset or hurt your daughter." Apostrophe. Apparently she called a bunch of girls' moms from my grade to apologize for her daughter's behavior. My son is 4 and has started some bullying behavior. He will call other kids stupid just out of the blue, or talk openly about how much cooler better his choice is than some other kids. His mom and I pretty much nip it in the bud right there. We tell him that saying things like that is not cool, and we have him go up to the kid, apologize, and then compliment them. I really hope that this is just a phase. Was told my kid was a bully in 4th grade. Okay, I had seen signs of him being bossy to his sisters, so we had numerous talks. I watched him like a hawk, jumped on him if he even so much as gave a sideways glance at his sisters. Later on, the kid he supposedly bullied came to a small gathering at our house. What a little shit that kid was. Took our digital camera off my husband's desk when they were expensive items, and broke the battery compartment hinge because he threw the stupid camera because it wasn't Polaroid. I had a hard time keeping my husband from bullying this little shit. Later still, talking to other parents, my son was not the only unfairly accused. The little shit was tiny for his age, had red hair and freckles and long eyelashes and a sweet smile, and at first glance was angelic. My son was cool with our temporary mistrust, because it came out he was not the only one. I always wonder what became of the little shit. The first week of first grade the teacher told us he was starting to have bully-like behavior. We've struggled with counteracting it since and he's 13 now, but he also is autistic with a learning delay and has a lot of issues either being super focused on something, usually the wrong thing, or nothing at all. It is always someone else. Someone else started it, or she was looking at me the wrong way. He will always have just one person he hates like a mortal enemy. You try to defuse the situation by telling him to tell the teachers when something happened so they can be aware of the situation. But it seems to be two-sided, always. Since starting high school this year, 2 terms, and we've been suspended twice. In primary school, he hit a kid in the face because she didn't blink. He thought she was a doll apparently. Honestly, as parents, we're doing our best. He is a very difficult child at the best of times and has only recently started medication for ADHD, which has helped his behavior significantly. But we still have to deal with the lesser understanding of consequences. When I had to change my work schedule to pick my kids up from school because my 2nd grader was verbally antagonizing a 7/8th grader on the walk home. It started with her complaining she was being bullied till her older brother told on her that she was instigating. Long story short, it was her way of trying to get more attention from me because she didn't have the words to explain what she wanted. It happened years ago, a bit after I went from being a stay-at-home mom to a single working mom. I've made more effort to spend more time with them. I remember this one kid who kept trying to pick fights with everyone, had parents that was in charge of a local church. Parents got upset and tried to start a legal battle when I defended myself on the playground. I was suspended and my punishment was the new Spider-Man movie. It's pizza time. Not a parent, but I'm the eldest cousin and one of the younger lads had a bit of a bully phase when I was in my early teens. I was used to him picking on his little brother, but he started extending it to other lads, extended family and friends. He was tall for his age so he abused that, but I was bigger back then. I'm now a puny 5'9" to those 6+ monstrosities. So I put him in a headlock and asked how it felt. He started crying. He cut his shit after that, at least around me. He still picks on his brother as an adult, but if anyone else tries he unleashes holy wrath. Hopefully I wasn't a bully. I didn't pick on people, but if people picked on me I was like, right, we fighting. Not me. But when I was growing up we had a neighbor kid who was like 6 years older than me, always teasing and making fun of me, until one day, when I was already in a shitty mood. I was like 6. It happened a lot. I put on my gloves. It was cold outside. Don't judge me. Then jumped the fence and punched him square in the mouth. Knocked one of his teeth out. And gave him a busted lip. Went bawling inside. His mum came over an hour or so later and was basically like, yeah, I always knew he was a little shit. He deserved it. Then left. He never spoke to me again, though. As far as I know he's married now with his own kids. Edit. I'd have never guessed that my highest rated comment would be about how I punched some kid in the mouth and sent him home to his mum. This is one of my biggest fears as a parent. Because for a long time my son was getting in trouble for hitting other kids randomly. This was in kindergarten. He's going into 2nd grade now. Legit randomly. We had proof and everything. Like once he was putting his snow boots on and a kid was walking by, and my son, straight face and everything, stood up and just cold clocked this poor kid before calmly sitting back down and finishing getting his boots on. I started telling him if he was going to treat others that way, that's how he should be treated. Because we follow the golden rule, trademark sign, in our house. He didn't like that idea. And his behavior started to improve. For clarity, we didn't actually do anything to him. Just told him we would if he kept it up. And that he wouldn't have any friends because nobody wants to be friends with a bully. He still acts out sometimes. But it's gotten a lot better with talking about why something he did was wrong and how it makes others feel, and asking him how he would feel if someone did those things to him. I am the stepmother of a bully. It isn't significant other's firstborn son. We only get to see him once a week and it is horrible. He is always getting suspended from school for hitting kids, cussing out the teacher, and his bio mother does absolutely nothing. His bio father and I are not allowed to discipline him in any way, and he takes advantage of it. He has no remorse or empathy. He has tripped his 3-year-old brother on purpose just cause, tells his sister to shut up, calls her names and hits her just because. He once smacked a girl he was playing with so hard in the face she had a welt because she tagged him, and then looked us in the eyes and lied about it. I usually tell him to knock it off and ask him if he would like it if someone treated him that way. He doesn't care. In fact, he gets angry if I ask him that. I am honestly terrified that he will end up in prison. I no longer allow him around my son for fear he will hurt him. I know there is something wrong with this boy, but his mother is unwilling to discipline him in any way and there is nothing we can do. My niece has been going through the mean toddler phase for about 2 years, whereby she actively seeks out younger, smaller children, chiefly her cousin, my daughter, and physically dominates them. She is possessive over anything and everything and generally makes other kids' lives hell. My S.I.L is absolutely useless at disciplining her, whereas her dad is too much, so she gets very mixed signals in what's right and what's wrong. My solution has been that when she is a bully towards my kids or others that I am around, I will watch her like a hawk, and once she has had her first strike there are no more chances. I isolate my kids from her and have them play nicely and put her on a sort of forced playtime time out where she isn't allowed to play with us, and then tell her it is because she was mean to another child. She is intelligent enough for this to sink in, but generally only gives us an hour of relative peace. before she starts again and the whole process starts again.